Hey, Mark Ppotter, Shore Sports MD. Maybe you're like me and you've got college kids, or maybe you've got kids that are off at boarding school and they've come home for the winter break, where they get away from the school and the process that they're used to. Now all of a sudden they're independent adults, and Beth Anne Langrell's with us from 4 All Seasons, and boy, it's got to be tough not only for the students or the kids, but also for the parents to adjust, because they found this new sense of adulthood.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I did a lot of time in the higher education community prior to coming to 4 All Seasons, and I think that it's such an important conversation to have as your kids are coming home. You know, parents are used to this newfound freedom too, especially if, you know, there's nobody at home and everybody's gone off to college. There's a newfound freedom parents have. Kids are used to not having to check in as much and not used to having to have a curfew because they're operating in their own space. And so being able to set some expectations and doing it on the front end in not a way of this is how you will behave while you're home, but more of let's talk about what's going to work for everybody. Let's talk about what's going to work for the family, can really help to head off any issues that might take place when there isn't a communication about what this time is going to look like.
They're home and they're enjoying the holidays with you, and then here we come to mid-January, early January, and it's time for them to go back to not relying on mom or dad to cook them a meal or what have you, and they're going back out on their own. And I've got to imagine that there's got to be a little pent-up anxiety in there as well.
Absolutely, because, you know, you do find comfort when you can come home and have a meal on the table or the laundry done if mom or dad are willing to help and assist you with that. The conversation even just with siblings, you know. I know that you have Mackenzie and Trey who are home, and them as siblings being able to connect is different. So really talking through, okay, so this transition looks like this while you're home. As you're going back to school, you know, restating, here's the expectations we have for grades. Here's the expectation we have of your social time, of the money situation. All of those things we tend to take for granted that it already happened once. It's never a bad thing to have that conversation a second time so that everybody's on the same page for what this semester is going to look like.
So obviously there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety. Grades get ready to come out after that first semester, and then of course, like you mentioned, the second semester and going back and the, you know, having that schedule and what used to be when they go back in January, you've moved on. You've got new classes and the new stressors and a new schedule to work with that. If somebody wants to talk to their child and doesn't know how to breach that conversation. I mean, let's face it, they're adults, they're off independent, and you hope that everything you taught them, they adhere to those guidelines or those rules when it comes to drugs or alcohol or anything like that. If somebody has a question how they could talk to their child, can they reach out to 4 All Seasons for some guidance?
Absolutely, because here's the thing, you know, I say this all the time, we're not going to get it right all the time. We are not going to always have the solution and the answers, and sometimes it's just a matter of sitting down with someone and saying, okay, so here's what I'm thinking, how does this sound? Or I don't know how to have this conversation. And you know, you and I have talked a great deal throughout the fall semester as your kids have been at school, and sometimes just being able to say, you know, you can talk to me about anything, right? When tough things happen, you know it's okay that you can pick up the phone and call. That might be the way to open up a conversation, but certainly if folks are struggling with how to think about what to say or what things are, you know, what do we need to talk through as a family, we absolutely are here. You can call our office at 410-822-1018. You can find us on the web at 4allseasonsinc.org. We're on Facebook at 4 All Seasons Behavioral Health and RCC. And I think the beauty of the community mental health agency that we are across the 5 counties of the Mid-Shore is that we are here for the client. We're here to help the client's family. You know, it can be family sessions, it can be individual, short-term, long-term, and it doesn't matter what age or what the needs are. We're here.
You mentioned age, and it's so true. Yeah, we're talking college, but the same thing applies to high school and elementary and going back to school. This is a joyous time. Don't let a little issue become a big issue. Jump on it, take care of it now, and reach out. 4 All Seasons is there. Heck, for that matter, send us an email, mark@shoresportsmd.com. I'll be happy to talk to you if you just need somebody to listen to. You know, thankfully, we've got each other. Thanks for checking out shoresportsmd.com.